It's October! Means it's time for spooky books. I got a stack. Can I read them all by the end of the month? Let's find out. So this is I'm going to call my Halloween reading challenge, and it's a challenge because these are the books I've picked out to read this month. There's a lot, so can I get through them in 30 days? We'll have to see. But every October I like to read all horror stories and ghost stories and like true haunting stories. So this is what I've chosen for this year. And it's a bit of a selection here. Lately I've been feeling really nostalgic for Christopher Pike. I used to read these Christopher Pike books like in the early 90s, and I haven't read one since probably 1992 or 3. But I think I want to read one. I really I have a little desire. I have a little craving for some Christopher Pike. It's been a while. And I don't think I ever read this one, but the cover of this one looks really familiar to me. And it's just called Witch. Witch. So we'll see. It sounds like it will be really good. There's this movie. It has Mary from Little House on the Prairie. I don't know what her real name is. She's just Mary on Little House on the Prairie, and she's a witch. It's like a TV movie or a really low budget movie, and she's a witch in this movie, and it's the absolute best. You have to find it on YouTube. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head. If I can remember, I'll let you know, because it's really like, it's such a good movie for the Halloween time. So there's that. And then next up, this is really kind of a kid's, like, upper elementary school, junior high school age book. It's called The Doll in the Garden. And then in case you're not sure, it says a ghost story. Obviously it's about a spooky, creepy, haunted doll. And I love this, like, well, I wouldn't say love. I like this author, Mary Downing Hahn or Hahn, one of those. She writes like ghost stories for kids, I guess. But I mean, it's a real book. There's no pictures, so I'm looking forward to this actually. And I've read a few of her books, like I said, so I'm actually looking forward to this one. This might be one of the first ones I read. I might read Witch next after the one. I already started. It's October 1st and I already started my first book because I have a lot to get through. But my next book might be Witch, and then it might be this one. I don't know. I don't know what order I'm going to go in, but I'm excited for that. And then we have, this is the one I think I'm most excited for. This is Cold Moon Over Babylon. And this author, Michael McDowell, he wrote a series called Blackwater, and the last couple of Halloweens I've been reading the books from that series, and they were like really hard to find at first, but they got republished. I don't know. They got republished, and now they're pretty easy to find, all collected in one nice book. It took me a while to read the series because like I couldn't find all the books all the time. I had to look for them online and stuff, and it was kind of hard to find some of them at some points. But I finished that series. It was so good, and I wasn't going to read anything by him this Halloween, but then I read the description of this book, and I just was remembering how much I enjoyed those other books, so I decided, yes, I am going to read this book this Halloween. That one, probably the middle of October. Okay, so the next one, this might be the most difficult to get through one because I have had some issues with this author. I just find her kind of boring, although I guess you would consider this classic literature. It's Edith Wharton, The Ghost Stories of Edith Wharton. And I've read The Age of Innocence and Ethan Frome, and I didn't really care for either of those books. They're very, very dry, I guess. Dry writing. But that's just me personally. I mean, they're beloved books, so that's probably just me. But this is ghost stories, so I think I might be into it. And I have read one of her stories, like, in a collection. And I think it was this one, The Lady's Maid's Bell. I'm pretty sure I've read that story at some point. I don't know what the other ones are in here. I didn't realize she had written so many ghost stories. There's quite a few, so she was into ghosts. That's cool. I could change my mind about her. Could change my mind about Edith. So the next book, or one of my books, this is another one. I'm saying I'm excited for pretty much all of these. It's true. I'm excited for them. I wouldn't have picked them. So this is 2 stories in one book. It's The Small Hand and another one called Dolly. And I've been wanting to read this book for years. And I said, you know what? It's time to get this book. I've had it on my Amazon list for, I don't know, 10 years maybe. Well, not 10 years, but, you know, a long time. And Susan Hill wrote the Woman in Black, or it's The Lady in Black. There's so many, like, horror movies and ghost stories, and it's always like The Woman in Black, The Woman in White, The Lady in White. I get them all confused. But she wrote, maybe it says on the back, The Woman in Black, Woman in Black, which they've made into a movie a couple of times. And if you can see the first one, it's a little better than the more recent one. And I think they even made a sequel, which had nothing to do with the story. But anyways, her story is really, really spooky. So I'm excited, and I might leave this one for closer to Halloween time, because I think they might be really scary if they live up to The Woman in Black. Okay, so this one is the one I'm reading right now. I already started this. It's October 1st, and I've already gotten, like, a good way through this, so this is good for my challenge here. I'm moving along already, so, I mean, it is possible I could get through all these books by Halloween. But there's some price sticker on that. Oh, I should have removed that before making the video. But it says, Ghost Hunting, Southern New England. And I guess this is part of a series called America's Haunted Road Trips. And this covers, like, stories about haunted places for Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. And so far I've actually been to several of the places they've mentioned in what I've read so far, but it's very interesting. A lot of them I've never even heard of, and this is my regional area, so that's good. I like when you don't know the stories ahead of time. There's that. So, the next book that I got, and I have no idea how this one is going to be. I kind of just got it because I liked the cover. It was Amazon recommended to me. And there was several. It's a collection of different stories for Halloween. It's called Dead Leaves, 9 Tales from the Witching Season. And there was several books they were recommending to me. And usually when I get these sort of books, they're horrible. Their stories are just, like, not scary, boring, just not my thing. But this one, I was reading the reviews. This one had pretty good reviews compared to pretty much all the others. And like I said, I like the cover. And it's not even, I thought it was going to be a lot thicker when it said 9 Tales. We'll see. We'll see how it is. But I'm feeling kind of good about this. This one I am uncertain how I'm going to think of it. Let's see. I don't know. I can't tell from the titles. But it might be good. We'll find out. So every Halloween season, I like to read like a historical, something historically spooky. Like a few Halloweens ago, I read about the Fox sisters. They started spiritualism and seances and table rapping and all that. And then last Halloween, I read about the witchcraft murders at the Hex House in Pennsylvania. It's called I think it's called the Hex House. That was super interesting. The book was just called Hex. It's like an older book. I got it at the thrift store. I don't think it's in print anymore. And then I ended up just like watching like documentaries and reading other things about it. The same thing with the Fox sisters. So this year I'm reading about the Bell Witch. And this is called Our Family Trouble, the story of the Bell Witch of Tennessee. And this is written by Richard Williams Bell, who, I don't know if he's the brother or... he's like directly involved with it, I guess, in some way. And this is his account. And it's a very thin book. Again, I didn't realize I was getting such a thin little book, but there was lots of Bell Witch books to choose from, but I thought like I should go to first source first. So this was the one I picked. But that's good, because as I said, I have a lot of books to get through. And then if I get through all those, I have this one. I don't even know. I found this at the thrift store. It's called Brainchild, and I guess this is a famous author. I've never heard of him, though. John Saul. And I tried to look the book up, but it's not in print, so I like to find books that aren't in print anymore. I don't know if I'm going to like this one or not, and it's a pretty thick one, and I got a lot to get through, so this is just like a bonus. It might be in November if I get to it. And I couldn't find anything about this book, so that's what I liked about it. But then I have this book, which I actually read last month because I wanted it to prepare for my other videos for this month, but I'm just mentioning it. I'm just mentioning it in case you want to get a copy. I think you can get a copy probably from Amazon or right from the author, or I don't know. Just look it up and find out. It's kind of a local book, that's why I'm saying it. But it's The Ghosts of Plymouth, Massachusetts by Darcy H. Lee. I actually knew, I think, every single story in here. There wasn't anything new to me, but I live here. But I'm going to choose a couple of the locations from this book, and each week I'm going to like go to the location and tell you my own spooky story about that location. And I have one location which is not in this book or any book of ghost stories, so it's my own thing to do a video about. But the others will be just from this. You can all these stories are or were, I don't know, I haven't been on the tours in a long time, but they used to be all in the ghost tours, all the stories. So that's my pile. Let's hope I get through it. Let's ask the 8-ball. Will I get through these books by October 31st? It says signs point to yes, which I just lost it. Let's see what it'll say for the camera. Yeah, it doesn't want to flip when it's on its side. Looks good though. Okay, so I'll see ya.